Welcome to Loving God and Loving Life. In Mark chapter 8, the theme is Jesus feeding a crowd and teaching. Peter receives the revelation that Jesus is the Christ. Well, after Peter gets this revelation, he kind of corrects Jesus, and then Jesus has this shocking confrontation of Peter. We read it here in Mark chapter 8, where Jesus turned around, looked at his disciples, and reprimanded Peter. Now listen to the words he says to Peter. "Get away from me, Satan." He said, "You are seeing things merely from a human point of view and not from God's." Wow. Peter gets called Satan, and why? What is it that Peter had done? Well, Jesus clearly identifies. Peter was just merely seeing things from a human point of view. Bottom line is Peter didn't want Jesus to go to the cross, and from a human point of view, that just seemed wise. You know, who wants their friend to die? Well, gang, that's how Satan rules the world. If he can keep us, this is his job. He's referred to in Scripture as the ruler of the world. Well, how does he do that? It's not because people are worshiping him. If he can keep people doing just what they want, just what seems best to their brain, as long as he can keep you doing everything from a human point of view, that's the only question you're asking yourself. And that's, by the way, that's the only question most human beings are asking themselves. What's best for me? What do I want? As long as he can keep humanity asking that question, well, he wins. He wins because again and again, God calls us beyond what we want. He calls us to a different life. He calls us to yield to Christ. He calls us to do his will over our own. See, we don't want evil to rule our life, so we have to start asking a different question. Rather than, what do I want? It's, God, what do you want? And that's what it means when Jesus is Lord. He's the Lord of our life. We want what he wants. Why? Because we know that's what's best for us. Yes, it's better when we do his will. And he wants us to share his love with this world. Even if we're uncomfortable with it, he wants us to share his love with this world. God, today, send me one person today to share your love with. Let's never forget it, my friends. It's in doing the will of God and loving God that we end up with a life that we're thrilled with.